Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mr. Bill here with today's Fireside Chat. And as we think about what happened this week in different activities and what did I see? That's the whole purpose behind the Fireside Chat, to provide insight from an overall objective perspective so that you are more informed and figure out how to make it happen, how to make it better within your role. And I want you to be better understood, very specifically, that when it comes to artificial intelligence, things are going to change. Things are changing. Things will continue to change. But I also want you to be confident in your ability to say, it will be okay. Because we have the ability to look at things a little differently with artificial intelligence. Think about when I first started doing technology, and keep in mind, when I first leveraged technology, started doing it, was like 1980s. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. And I learned it because a little computer came home. It was called a Timex Sinclair 1000. And what I learned quickly with that little computer, and you can look it up, it wasn't much, but it was the first computer you could buy for your home for under $100. And I leveraged the opportunity to learn, to grow, and learn that, technology can help automate things. Be able to further stream how you look at things. Be able to say, I can provide logic and help those approvals or make decisions so you're able to streamline it. And we've been able to further excel that to what we have today. Now let's go to artificial intelligence, how we see it. It's taking that to the nth degree, exponentially growth, which is great, but doesn't mean that our roles within asset management, hardware, software, and configuration management are going to go away. See, today's, when it comes to the products side of the house, they say, we can do less, you need less resources because our technology can do it. And artificial intelligence is going to help with that. They're right. But there is a but in there. It's a however, actually. You should never say but, just say however. However, there will always be a manual aspect to our roles, to our disciplines that will never go away. As much as you try, you do your best with all the business rules there are out there, where there's data normalization, how you're looking at and cataloging and try to bring it together. You look about the decisions that need to be made. There is always the human element. That's what makes us unique. And our uniqueness, we need to fully embrace even more now. Fully embrace to say, it's okay, we're going to see things change, but we also need to oversee what technology is doing. Because we have to. If we don't have the trust in the data, what else is there? You think about what we've done with technology. And let me go that side, because I didn't introduce myself. My name's Bill, Mr. Bill, and I am a recovering IT practitioner, and I've been in these shoes. I still am in these shoes. And what I've done after doing this 30 years to help over 4,000 clients and customers, as well as practitioners around the globe, is being able to help you be part of that network. Help you further succeed in your role. And that's the whole purpose behind this, the whole purpose why I created the co-op. And the reason why I do the Fireside Chat was to go a little bit over and above what you see in the noise during the week. And I will say noise. It's being respectful because there's lots of information that we deal with. But you think about how we, in our roles, deal and who we deal with within our enterprise. Now, you may have a role where you're looking procurement and you have a procurement request given to you, order a piece of equipment, and it is received, and there's different facets behind that. You may be able to, you get a request to actually look at data, and you provide data in the report, and that's your output, and that's your role. I don't diminish that. But there's others that actually do more than that. There's others that look and say, that's part of our role. What about the process involved? What about the other people and stakeholders involved? How about the data that we have to look at to actually make sure we have the reports for management? How do we look at how we look at our role in governing and making sure our governance and stakeholders are in place so we're aligned? That's why I do this, because there's a lot to our roles. And it's okay to understand your niche. I've talked about that in the previous weeks. Be proficient what you're at. But at the same time, think about how you can be more proficient. That's why I want to leverage artificial intelligence for this discussion, because we can leverage it for just that. The one thing I learned as far as all of my role, my career, and when I started asset management 30 years ago, did I know I'd be doing this and talking about integrations, et cetera? No. But I will say one of the best things I ever did with asset management, I could have installed tools. I had a tool up in sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on what it was. That wasn't the hard part. The hard part was having conversations. The hard part was leading that discussion and talking about how the integration can help someone else and how they can help me. When you become proficient like that and you're able to talk to everyone, that's where the magic is. Now let's bring artificial intelligence into this. With all the chat GPT, pick your technology, some automation scripts, whatever it is. And there's different proficiencies. And trust me, if we're doing a comparison, there's some really bad ones and there's some okay good ones. There's nothing really stellar, I'll be honest. And I'll just make that statement. Blanket statement. There's nothing stellar. That's why we have to continue our roles. Because we have to think about how the data we have is coming to us in ways it can improve. I'll give an example. ChatGPT, or how we're looking at it, the cataloging. Any of you are part of a cataloging group? Honestly, I'm going to step on some toes a little bit here. The cataloging that you're performing today absolutely needs a human element. Absolutely needs a human element. Just realize ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and all the screen scraping and the scraping on the internet that you're doing today, it will do that more proficiently. You will be able to help normalize the data in the back end, but the proficiency behind the catalogs will actually improve. And I say that for also the task of the rest of the practitioners who are listening here. It's important for us to look at this. It's important for us to understand where we need to fit, where technology needs to fit, and where we have to put the human element. Because that's what makes us us. Make sense? Helps us be more proficient. And my point there is, you think about how you're able to better excel when you have better data to work with. That's what we're talking about. There's so many anomalies out there, and I'm not going to pick on one library versus another. And there's some really bad ones, and there's some good ones, and there's others really struggling, and there's some that really don't care. And that's the technology side. I'm not even talking about the management side. They just don't care. They're just going to sell you something even though it doesn't work. I've seen it, and it's still out there. I get it. You have to challenge them. But what this does provide you from a cataloging perspective in our industries, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking about configuration management, software, and all the licensing involved in the software compliance and how you're looking at the different applications. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the hardware or even virtual environments. Those cataloging, how you bring it how you bring it together. If there's a more powerful machine to help automate that, I'm 1,000% behind it. But what also needs to flag, and I always did this in all my integrations, here's my secret, is I flagged if anything looked odd. I flagged it for manual intervention. What I mean by manual intervention is manual oversight was needed if something was really awry. And I provide this information to you because that's how you can be more proficient in your role, irrelevant of what part of the process you're looking at, the people, process, technology, the governance, and the data tied to it, because we're all focused on this data. If we can help improve the data accuracy and artificial intelligence can help us do so, embrace it. There's such a need for us more than ever now. More than ever. So as we come to a close on the Fireside Chat, I'm really trying to keep myself honest on this one, is there's a couple things I want you to think about as we talk about artificial intelligence or within our role, because what I'm also seeing is I'm seeing a lot of practitioners really struggling right now. Some work with different tools. See, you got Alexa in the background for me. But being able to be more proficient in what you do is okay. And you're going to go through some job changes. That's okay. It means it's time for you to look at things a little differently. We all have to. Yes, we fall on our laurels and say, okay, it's status quo. Well, status quo isn't going to work for us anymore. It actually never has. That's the thing. Never has. For me, anyone I ever see status quo, and you can ask anybody who's ever done a one-on-one session with me, I've helped them figure out what they really are good at, and then able to go that next step. And they figure that out. I'm more than happy to coach. And if you want to do that with me, feel free. That's one-on-one. That's number one on one.itmc.org. I don't have it listed here. I'll put it in the bottom of the chat. But want you to think about how you're able to think and get out of your head, but think about how you can be more proficient in what you do, how you do it, because your ability to lead these discussions, to think about how you can excel and complement the rest of the team or a new technology or whatever it is that you're really proficient in. Maybe it's process. You want to do some process re-engineering. Great. Maybe you love doing governance and working with people and how it all comes together and you have a better way of doing it. Awesome. We need more of you. See my point? But here's 3 things I'm going to leave you with. I think I have to, 3 things. I had these, literally these were sitting on my island in my kitchen here in Atlanta. And it's like, I've been looking at it all week. It's like, how can I leverage these terms? And I figured out right now with you. And here's how I want to do it. Is first of all, stay grounded. As we have changes coming up, it's easy to use, I'll use a technical term, freak out. It happens. But think about how you need to be the rock. Think about how everyone around you is counting on you to be successful. And sometimes you have to unplug technology because it gets in the way. Hence, that's why I've left the screen for a second. But stay grounded. Think about what you really love to do. Think about why you're doing it. Think about the benefits you provide and how you can further improve. And there you go. Secondly, because as we get kind of scatterbrained, we get our heads, and keep our mind, our heads by default, we automatically think negatively. I'm not trying to say you think negatively. I'm not that at all. But natively within the human brain, we're in a defensive mechanism. But how do we work this forward, right? Talk about stay grounded, but also be confident in what you do. If you have any questions about it, think about how you can further improve it. Get your confidence up. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Love it. Embrace it. We need more of this. Absolutely. It's okay to be concerned, but realize your drive at the end of the day is what you want to do at the end of the day. You want to figure out just that one thing. How are you going to achieve it? Be confident in achieving that. If it means you're redoing your resume because you're looking for a new job, redo the resume. If you need help, don't be afraid of asking help. Ever. Never be afraid of asking help. Be confident in asking because you are raising your hand, which we, as technologists, there's some choice words I won't say here on the air, but there's things we're not good at. Hey, that really good. We're not good at it all. So how can we do that? And last one, and this comes from the heart. Be authentic. We all have our proficiencies. We all have reasons why we have the proficiencies we do, irrelevant where we are around the globe. Be proficient in how to move that forward. If you need sometimes help for interviews or something like that, just ask. Seriously. I'm more than happy to help with that too. But it's also about being able to figure out what your niche is. I mean, I literally, at the end of the day, when you're more proficient in what you are, that means you're going to be confident in what you can do. When you're more confident in what you can do, that confidence may say, okay, I'm looking for a new job. But what you may not realize is that job's already available to you. You're already in it. And how to look and see how to move forward. It's all about sometimes communication and being able to relate to others. That actually is the key. I've had professionals, practitioners as well, come to me, and that's been the solution, is being able to better connect. Because that's what we do. You have to keep in mind in our roles, hardware asset management, software asset management, configuration management, ideally we touch more parts of the enterprise more than any other group outside of HR. You think about all the stakeholders we have. I mean, even when I was a CMDB owner at a financial firm, and I did that for 18 months, I had 70, that's a 70 stakeholders, 70 operations. It didn't matter, but it grew quickly because everyone involved. And I had 5 different CIOs I was reporting to. So it wasn't easy, but you do that. But figure out how you want to be more proficient in what you do. But lastly, do what you can. Be your best. Because when you do that, it's speaking from the heart. You get rid of the stress. You're able to say, I can do more, and here's how I can do it. Don't get caught up in trying to learn a brand new skill just out of the blue and expect to be proficient within a few hours. You may sometimes be able to do that. I mean, okay, you want to look for exec script within Java or something like that. I get it. But if you really want to become proficient and you're going from a technical role to say you want to be a software asset manager and you want to understand all the licensing, you're going to learn all that 8 hours of training to be a software asset manager. I'll be honest, you're setting yourself up for failure because it doesn't happen in 8 hours. Any 8-hour course or even 2-hour course or 3-hour course, whatever it is, it takes months to get proficient at it. Months to understand the idiosyncrasies behind how you're doing it. Months to be able to relate it. Configuration management, it takes a while. And it's nothing, no disagreement with anybody. It's more than just a technical role. It's understanding how to work with people, understand how to look at those relationships, understand how to manage the CIs at different levels. Asset management, we know it. We've talked about it forever. In cloud's the same way. How we work doing relationships is important. And that's what most people forget about is the human element. When you deal with the human element, stakeholders are part of the solution. Absolutely. It's also being able to communicate. When you're able to communicate and be more proficient, reach out. If there's something I can do for you, please reach out. I went a little over my time. It's just providing value here. But lastly, I want to provide value and go that next step. Look for an announcement in the next day or two. I was supposed to be out like last week and I'm having some technology issues. I have problems too. Look for something. I want to do something for you. And you're going to see it forthcoming soon and be published. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's not a freebie. I'll give you a heads up, but it's not going to be costly. I'm just putting it out there because I want you to grow. I want you to invest in yourself because when you invest in yourself, you get more proficiency. You see those outcomes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about gouging either. I'm talking about you just making an investment so you're able to say, I did it. I moved forward. That's my goal for you at any point in time. If there's something I can do, please reach out. Feel free to look at me at the website. Feel free to, if you want to put in time, and I'll put it in the link below, 101.itmc.org. Feel free to get on my calendar. And let's find time. If you're really struggling in that area, let's make it happen. Thank you for your time. And thank you for everything you do. And I love that you're here because we're all part of a pretty big family and we need to be more proficient in how we make that happen. If there's anything I can ever do, please reach out. Look forward to it. And see you then. Bye now.